You know, the most important war in tech right now isn't being fought with code. It's not happening in the cloud. It's a brutal, high-stakes battle being waged on these tiny, almost invisible pieces of silicon. And it all comes down to this one question. In an age that's going to be completely defined by AI, who's going to control the physical hardware that makes it all possible? The answer to that is going to shape, well, everything. Because what we're seeing here is a huge shift. For years, tech wars were all about software, right? About ecosystems. But now, the fight for AI dominance, it's a hardware war. Plain and simple. Okay, so to really get this, we have to start with the kingdom itself. For the better part of a decade, Nvidia, led by its legendary CEO Jensen Huang, has basically crowned itself the absolute undisputed king of AI hardware. And this brings up a really powerful concept, the Nvidia tax. I mean, think about it. When you have a near monopoly on the high-end chips that everyone needs for AI, you can pretty much charge whatever you want. And this number, wow, this just says it all. A 75% net profit margin on hardware, that's almost unheard of. This isn't just about success. It shows a company that has unbelievable pricing power over its biggest customers. And here's what that pricing power looks like in the real world. $40,000 for one chip. Now, imagine you're a company like Google and you need tens of thousands of these things. It's a terrifying financial problem. And the crazy part is, you're not just buying a component. You're literally funding your main competitor's war chest. So, this is the takeaway, right? Google has realized it cannot possibly win the AI race while being totally dependent on another company for its most critical part. This isn't about choice anymore. For them, it's about survival. But here's the thing. While everyone else was scrambling to buy Nvidia chips, Google was quietly cooking up a secret weapon in its labs. And they've been at it for over a decade. And that weapon is the TPU, or Tensor Processing Unit. Now, the key phrase you need to know here is application-specific. See, unlike a normal chip, a TPU is a piece of silicon that has been engineered from the ground up to do one thing and one thing only. And this really shows you the core difference. Think of an Nvidia GPU like a Swiss Army knife. It's incredibly versatile. It's great at a ton of things, from gaming to science. But the Google TPU? That's a surgical scalpel. It can't do graphics, it can't run your video games, but it is brutally, insanely efficient at the one specific type of math that powers all of modern AI. And here's why that specialization is such a big deal. Because the TPU is so focused, it strips away all the extra stuff. That means less power, less heat, and this is the most important part, a way better cost for every single AI calculation. It's just a smarter architecture for this specific job. So that raises a pretty big question, right? If TPUs are better and cheaper for AI, why hasn't Google already won this war? Well, the answer lies in Nvidia's greatest defense. And funnily enough, it's not hardware at all. The answer is CUDA. For 15 years, Nvidia has been building this software ecosystem. It's the language, the tools, the libraries that basically every single AI developer on the planet learns and uses. It's so dominant that almost all AI code out there is written specifically for Nvidia hardware. And trying to escape this golden prison, as some call it, is an absolute nightmare. If you're a developer and you want to switch from Nvidia to Google's TPU, you're not just flipping a switch. You're talking about months of rewriting code, dealing with performance getting worse before it gets better, and hunting for all sorts of new frustrating bugs. This is Nvidia's deep, unbreakable moat. So how in the world does Google convince developers to cross that moat? It knows it can't win on hardware alone. It needs something way more radical, a real scorched-earth kind of strategy. And this is the weapon that makes it all possible. With over $100 billion in cash, Google can afford to do something pretty much no one else can. They can wage a war of attrition and just outspend the enemy. So here's Google's big pitch to every AI startup out there. They're basically saying, hey, don't give all your precious venture capital money to Nvidia. Come on over to our cloud. We will give you access to our superior TPU hardware for dirt cheap prices. We'll even help you convert your code. We are fully prepared to lose billions of dollars just to starve Nvidia of your business and get you hooked on our ecosystem. And here's the economics behind how they can win that price war. It's all about tokenomics. See, in AI, every little piece of an answer is a token, and it costs a tiny fraction of a cent to generate. Because TPUs are just more efficient and can be networked together better, Google can drive that cost per token lower than anyone. At the scale of millions of users, that tiny difference becomes billions of dollars in savings. It lets them just crush the competition on price. Now, this war isn't just a two-player game between Google and Nvidia. The shockwaves from this are spreading across the entire industry, creating a lot of collateral damage and some very surprising winners. You see, this whole thing has kicked off a frantic arms race. Microsoft and Amazon, they see the writing on the wall, so now they're rushing to build their own custom chips. Meanwhile, the open source community, which is frankly tired of Nvidia's monopoly, is building new tools that are designed to work on any hardware, which slowly, piece by piece, weakens that software moat. But the ultimate winners in all of this? Well, it's pretty much everyone else. This price war means startups can suddenly afford to build wild, ambitious AI projects. Developers finally get more choices. And for industries like gaming, cheaper AI could finally make those dreams of fully AI-generated worlds a reality. This competition, it's fantastic news for all of us. All right, so let's get to the verdict. Can Google actually take down Nvidia? Well, the goal might be a little more strategic than that. See, Google doesn't actually need to kill the king. The real goal here isn't to destroy Nvidia, it's to break its absolute monopoly. What Google wants is to shift the market from Nvidia versus nobody to Nvidia versus the Google ecosystem. If they can just grab 20, maybe 30% of the market and lock those customers into their cloud, that's a historic victory. It would permanently change the balance of power in tech. And that leaves us with the final and most important question. The outcome of this silicon war really is going to shape our future. So what do we want that future to look like? One where a single empire controls the engine of innovation? Or one where fierce competition between many players drives prices down and just blows the doors of possibility wide open?